Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Yeah, Priyam is not there. You can ask the questions.
Okay, so in reactions, you just have to take one component as base, right?
Yeah, that is limiting reactant. Yeah.
We can't take two components as base components, right?
Yeah,
Even if their molar fractions
you
are
can take, but means this.
even if their stoichiometry is same and the mole fractions, the number of moles are
Yeah, you can take any one of them. If
any one.
yeah, everything is same, then you can take any one of them. Yeah.
Hello, Nikhil.
Yes.
How do I take square root, like in rate expression to enter denominator?
In the rate expression unit, right?
What? Nikhil?
Yeah. I am just checking. In the rate expression you want, right?
Yeah, the root. I want to take root of something, so what's the word for that? Keyword.
Yeah, just give me a moment. I'm just trying.
Okay. Priyam, you there?
Actually, Priyam is not there. Yeah, I'll come back to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, Priyam.
Any questions?
Yeah, there was one doubt. How to take a square root in that rate expression? Is there any keyword?
Take to the power 0.5, no? Use raised to the power 0.5.
Okay.
So how to decide which one is R1 and which one is R2 and which is P1 and which is P2? Like the reaction goes like CO plus 3H2O, CO plus 3H2 gives H2O plus methanol. So in the product side, first H2O is appearing, then methanol is appearing. So is it P1 is H2O and methanol is P2?
Okay, so do one thing. You can actually take anything as R1 and R2, given that you maintain the same order for both the reaction. Okay.
But won't it change? Like R1 and R2 can be same, but P1 and P2, P1 and P2 are P1 and P2 can't be same, na? Because H2O is involved at some places, but the same is not with methanol.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying, no? So if you have P1, that way it will be consistent. That's what I'm saying. That whatever you take as first and second R1, R2 and P1, P2, be consistent with it throughout the reaction. It won't matter actually.
We have in question number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 6. If I'm taking two outlets from the CSTR, the product stream 1, the vapor stream there comes nothing out in vapor stream, and all the components are in liquid phase. Yet if we remove the vapor stream, just have one outlet, the values of residence time and conversion changes.
Reaction is in liquid phase. Okay, just give me a minute. So what is the conversion you are getting without the vapor stream? What is the conversion you are getting?
Actually, I just removed the vapor outlet, and it's coming out to be the same.
So that means it's same, right? It doesn't make a difference.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's okay, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If that's okay, then there is something else missing. I'll check on. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello,
Priyam. I have a doubt.
Yes.
Actually, in question number 5, I am getting an error. It is saying syntax error, some unexpected end of the file, not able to debug it. Could you help me with that?
Because you must have entered something wrong with that rate expression. Okay.
Okay.
So you must have done something wrong with the rate expression. Just check, make sure you are entering the rate expression properly. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just recheck it. Okay.
Yeah. Just one thing that you have to ensure is, firstly, wherever there is a bracket, you need to put that multiplication sign. So that is something that you have to ensure. So, and then the division thing also you have to ensure. And rest all signs are, I guess it's clear. Just that ensure that the multiplication sign is proper. And there are a lot of brackets, so you need to close. Make sure that whenever you're opening a bracket, you need to close that way as well. Otherwise, you'll get that expression error. Okay.
All right. I'll just recheck it.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, there was question from Ruby. She was asking how to choose R1, R2 and P1, P2.
So you are actually free to choose R1, R2 and P1, P2. Just that make sure that whatever you choose R1, R2 and P1, P2 for the first reaction, you have to take it same for the second reaction as well. Otherwise, there is no such thing as R1, R2 and P1, P2 as such any rule for choosing that. Okay.
No, but in the equation given for the forward reaction of the water gas reaction, so there's a difference between, so there's a cube of the partial pressure of hydrogen, which is one reactant, but not a cube of carbon dioxide partial pressure, right? So we have to distinguish between the two. We have to ensure that the equation does not cube vice versa, right?
I didn't get your point. Can you come again?
So yeah, what I'm saying is that so the software, we have to somewhat mention to the software, right, that that P1 is carbon dioxide, that R1 is carbon dioxide and R2 is hydrogen, so that it evaluates the expression accordingly.
So actually, if you see, if you consider that way, okay. So in the numerator there is a term of pH2 cube, right? That is what you are saying.
Right.
Now let's say if that is R1, if you take that as R1, okay, then in the denominator in the first term where there is the term of pH2 by pH2, then that corresponding thing will also be R1 in that.
Yeah.
So that's how it will take care of it. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I understand that it has to be consistent, but what if the system what if the system assumes that R1 is carbon dioxide and ends up cubing the partial pressure of carbon dioxide instead of hydrogen? So do we not mention that anywhere in the software?
No, we don't mention that. We don't mention that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this doubt. You said that the base component will be the one which is limiting, right?
Yeah.
But in the second case, I have this question in which the rate is expressed in terms of say a component A, but in that equation and in that reaction, the component B is limiting.
Yes.
So, do you find any discrepancy here?
No. So you go with that. What you find limiting, take that to be the base component, okay? And whatever is in the rate expression,
and in the rate law, the component B is there.
Is there? That's okay. That's fine. You go ahead with that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just one final doubt regarding the P1, P2, R1, R2 naming convention. So we have to stay consistent within one reaction or across the entire set?
Across the entire set.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
In the equation given, it says E minus 11. Does that mean 10 to the power, or does that mean?
Yes, that's 10 to the power minus 11. But when you are using it in DWC, you keep it as E minus 11. Okay.
Okay.
Make use of that commits. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that in the kinetic reaction, where do we enter this activation energy? Is it the heat of the reaction?
No, you have the term EA, right?
Yeah, EA.
Yeah, that's the activation energy.
So where do we enter it exactly in the model that we prepare?
Where do you enter? If you see in the kinetic reaction itself, there is an option where you can enter the EA.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that is where you enter it.
Hello, Priyam.
Yes.
I corrected everything, the brackets for the question number 5, numerator and denominator of the rate law. But now the error that is popping up is that nested loops. So the flash algorithm was unable to converge to a solution. That is the description of the error.
Okay.
And the mitigation actions are try another property package and or flash algorithms. So I'm not able to now figure out that what went wrong. I mean, I have rechecked the numerator and denominator.
Did you add both the reactions, or you have added one reaction only?
No, I have added both the reactions and numerator and denominator for both of them.
Okay. And the you have entered the rate cost, the amount you need,
Do you want me to share the screen?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please share it.
All right. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, are you able to see my screen now?
Good.
Yeah, so if I run the flow sheet, it takes some time to calculate, and then this error pops up.
The flash. Okay, go to kinetic. Open that kinetic reaction manager. Hold it. Okay, let me just check.
I have selected heterogeneous catalytic reaction. I do not have to select the kinetic reaction, right? This one is the correct one because
Correct one.
And the basis is also going to be carbon dioxide, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so sir, I also wanted to ask in relation to this, sir, how do we decide which is P1, P2, and R1, R2? Do we see the equation? Like for Gautam, he's written 3H2 plus CO2, but mine is CO2 plus 3H2. So our R1 and R2 will be exchanged, right? According the.
So is it converging for you?
No, sir. I'm getting the same problem that Gautam is getting. In fact, many people are getting the same problem.
There's something wrong because the screen. What is that P1, P2, R1, R2 selection that you have done and that I have done is same. Okay, so what Gautam's selection and what I have selected is same, but unfortunately there is something wrong, I guess, with the.
Yes, so
sir, it is not converging.
Yes, so how do we decide which one to take P1 and P2? Do we see the equation
That's what I said. It should be consistent though. Okay, it has to be consistent with throughout the expression. Okay, but let me just check first. Let me just resolve this first. Gautam, can you send me a file? This particular file.
Sure thing. I'll just save it and send it to you.
And the other whoever has taken the other way of P1, P2, and R1, R2. Okay, send me a file as well.
I should send it on your email. Could you just once again tell me your email?
Yes. So there's a other. I'm just typing it here, so you can take it.
Okay.
So someone else have taken an other selection for P1, P2, and R1, R2, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who is that? Vikash?
Yes, Vikash, sir.
Okay. So you have taken the other way around, that P1, P2, R1, R2, right?
I'm not sure the other way around, but it is different from this. I have gone through. Just wait a second, I'll tell you. I have for the first reaction, I have selected CO2 as R1 and H2 as R2, and methanol as P1 and H2O as P2.
So okay, so let me just point out. Okay, so what I have done is just try this. Okay, H2. Take H2 as R1.
H2 as R1, okay.
And CO2 as R2.
Okay.
Okay, H2 as R1, CO2 as R2. So everyone who is trying that problem number 5, please note it down. If the one that is not working with you, try with this one. It must work. I'll just see what is the issue with others. Okay.
Okay, and P1 and P2?
Yeah, I'll come to that. So everyone has noted H2 as R1 and CO2 as R2. Now H2O as P2, H2O as P2,
Yeah.
and CH3OH as P1.
Yeah.
Okay. So just try with that. If you just do that, and
For the second reaction?
same thing. Nothing to be changed. Nothing to be changed. It's the same order. Okay, you have something else here. So H2O will be, for the first reaction, what did you consider your H2O? R1, right?
Yes. H2O,
Sorry.
No, sir. First reaction, H2 as R1.
H2 as R1, okay. And what did you consider your H2O? What was the H2O?
P2.
P2, okay.
Priyam, I have shared my file with you. If you could have a look if you have received it.
So try that H2 as P2 and CO as P1.
Okay. And one more thing, Priyam, the unit of EA is not given. So what should we take the R value? Is it 8.314 or 8.3?
Yes, you take it 8.314. Take it 8.3.
So I'll just swap those values, and if it doesn't convert,
just check that.
I'll send the file to you again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Priyam, Gautam again.
Yeah, Gautam.
I have sent the file. Did you receive it?
No, not yet. Yeah, I have received it now.
Okay.
So did you take down the value that I gave, that P1, P2, R1, R2? What I just Yeah. So can you just ensure that you are using the same thing?
Actually, the order in which my compounds are taken is a little in order in which I taken the compound were hydrogen, carbon dioxide, methanol water, and carbon monoxide. And when I'm putting them in the reaction, my hydrogen is coming first, and that is why I have taken it as R1 and CO2 as R2. And similarly, so I have taken in the order in which they are coming in the reaction, because I think in the order which they are coming in the reaction is the same order that we have to follow, right? For me, hydrogen is coming first, and then carbon dioxide is coming, and then CH3OH, and then H2O.
Yeah, so sir, Amrit here. I have changed the order according to what you said. It's still showing the same thing. It failed to solve the solution.
So you're sure you're not making any mistakes with the expression in here, right?
Yes, sir. I've checked it like twice.
Okay, fine. Send me that file. I'll check that. What is the issue? Okay.
Okay, sir.